Fucking love it. All right.
I hate you, Mark.
Yeah, I
Hate
know.
you.
I know you hate me. It's okay though.
Always fucking doing that shit, man.
Fucking right. I got to do that to you.
Such
All
a
right. So
dick.
we're live right now on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Phone lines are up. I just got the notification from Facebook. Tomorrow's election day, and Elon Musk is the new storm. Okay, so that is the title on Facebook, by the way. All right, so we're live. What's going on, everybody, on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Wisdom? I just want to let everybody know that tonight's podcast is going back to our old roots as we are coming up on.
We're just dipping our toes in the water.
Just a little wiggling our toes in the water.
We're just gonna. It's throwback Monday.
Yeah, Throwback Monday. That's it.
Memorabilia Monday.
Right. So what I'm going to do real quick is I got this handy dandy record button over here. I'm going to hit that thing, and we're going to start off with my original intro.
Oh, are you going the original intro? Well, after your intro, don't forget your disclaimer before we get ourselves.
Yes, I will definitely do the disclaimer right after the intro.
All right.
So let's get rocking. We already got comments going on over here. What do we got over here? Madison. Oh, what's going on, Madison? Welcome in. Madison's over watching us on Twitch. What's happening, Madison? I see you. See Madison right there saying hello. Hey, Madison. All right, we're gonna hide you, Madison. All right, so let's go ahead. Let me go live here and let me hit the record button.
A lot of podcasts these days. Tippy toe around everybody's little feelings. The little snowflakes are fragile. But you won't get any of that crap here. Welcome to the Mark G Show. From political issues to cultural issues to current events and everything in between, we're talking about it. And we talk about it how we want, melting the little snowflakes. This is the Mark G Show, and this is Mark G.
Oh, what is going on? Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Wisdom, Apple, Spotify, and every other place there's a podcast going on. I am Mark G. I will be your host today. I got my brother Gary G out here. He is my lovely co-host, looking all pretty over there. What's going on, my man?
Looking all pretty, fresh off my workout. No shower, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, you're smelling good, man. Smelling good. I'll give a quick shout out to Desert Rat over there on Twitch. I see you, Desert Rat. Before we get this podcast started, I am going to get a little disclaimer out of the way because I want to protect myself on these social media platforms. So everything you hear on my show tonight from myself, my brother, or any guests that decide to call in or chime in over on the Wisdom app is the views and the opinions of ourselves and ourselves only. It's also for entertainment purposes only. And you can do what you would like with the information. Feel free to research what we talk about and come up with your own conclusion on what you want to do with that information. Once again, entertainment purposes only. Now that the disclaimer's out of the way, damn, man, since we've haven't talked politics in a while, there's been a lot happening.
Dude, I got the, I didn't even tell you this. I bought, so some people might not know, but tonight there's like a big lottery, right?
$1.9 billion, baby.
Little Powerball action. So I threw my ring in my hat in the ring, right? I bought a ticket and I used cash to pay. And the guy was like, he's like, who the fuck uses cash anymore? And I was like, cash is king, buddy. And he's just like, no, it's not, dog. He's like, there ain't no gold reserves. This ain't worth nothing. I was like, well, I gave it to you and I'm walking out of here with a lottery ticket and a Gatorade. So it's still worth something.
Right.
And then he's like, as he's like giving me my change back, he's just like clowning on stores making money and people making money and just capitalism in general. I'm like, you work at a store so you can have money, so you can buy stuff and afford to pay like your rent. Like, I don't know. It was just weird. The guy was like a really interesting guy, but I was just like, man, I was like, this guy is off his rocker right now. Like,
well, it's funny because you bought a lottery ticket and you did use
cash.
your cash to buy it,
Right.
right? Most
Right.
stores require you to use cash when you buy a lottery ticket anyways. A lot of stores do not allow you to use your debit card or credit card to buy lottery tickets. You have
Really?
cash. Yeah, at least here in Maine.
Okay. I
Yeah, here
didn't
in
know
Maine,
that.
here in Maine, you have to use cash pretty much. There's one store that I found that's a Cumberland Farms that allows you to use your debit card. But most other stores is cash only,
Okay.
which
Oh,
makes
okay.
sense, right? Because you are playing a lottery and you sit
Right.
there
Yeah.
on a
Yeah.
first.
Let's just keep it
But
off the books until it needs to be on the books,
exactly,
Unless,
uh,
can I file that all as a loss at the end of the year?
I don't know. Could you?
Is
Maybe,
that it's not an investment, but it's a loss.
maybe
Do
you
you
could
do you have
follow
to keep all your losing tickets for the year?
it. I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't I don't know. Some tax expert
Any
out
CPAs out
there is
there?
just
Any
like, this
CPA?
guy is a fucking idiot.
Any CPAs out there right now? Let us know
I
if we can
know.
write off
Sorry, I'm an
lottery
idiot. I could
tickets for
probably just
scratch.
Google that shit. I don't know how
Maybe,
this
but
works.
hey, maybe we get lucky and get a CPA or something out there. Somebody that knows a little more
Yeah.
about
Just
that.
come
Hey,
on. Someone tell me how stupid I am directly to me. I'd appreciate that, please.
we got a lot to talk about tonight, folks. And for anybody who's just tuning in for the first time, please note that my brother and I, this podcast is like a full blown ADD, ADHD. Oh, look, a squirrel kind of a
Dude, we
podcast.
need to write stuff down.
We do bad. So please bear with us. We're going to bring you one way, and next thing you know, you're going to be slingshot over to another direction. But feel free, if there's any CPAs out there, to call in. Our phone number is there on the screen, 207 209 1888. Please be 18 or older when you call into the show. We are also live on this new app. It's a pretty cool app. It's called Wisdom. And this is where you can listen to podcasts live and so forth. And you can actually hit this little cool button and chime in. And I just learned something. They now have this feature where people can actually ask questions during your podcast. And I guess the question will pop up and it allows you to answer it live over there. So I can't wait to see if that happens. But yeah, man. So back to everything. I'm so excited. The $1.9 billion. Can you imagine? Number one, in the state of Maine, here's a fucked up thing. There's only 4 or 5 states that allow you to be anonymous. We'll get to political stuff here in a second, but let's talk about this because it's a big thing happening tonight, right? Someone could be $1.9 billion fucking richer. That's an insane amount of money. Like, what would people actually do with that, right? And I would love to know anybody, if you won $1.9 billion, please call me right now and tell me what you would spend that on. 207 209 1888. Because I would be curious. Like,
I'm gone.
you're gone. But
I'm
like,
gone. Everybody's homes is paid for that I know, all my friends and loved ones, and I'm on an island somewhere that no one will ever know about.
but here's the thing, right? So in the state of Maine, you have to be announced that you won it. Like, you cannot be anonymous. The only way you could be anonymous in the state of Maine if you won lottery or anything, like anything, I think $500 or more, you automatically get put out there blasting on Facebook and on their website and everything else that you won this money. So to me, that's ridiculous. Like, if somebody won $1.9 billion, you should allow them, number one, to be anonymous, because what happens when people see that you win that money? You have your enemies out there, number one, they're going to try filing these bunk lawsuits against you. And they're going to come after you for ridiculous shit that's not even legit, but they're saying, fucking, they're rich now. I want a piece of that pie. So everybody starts coming after you. You got family members who you may not want to, want them to know that you won this large sum of money, because they're going to hoard you for it. Say, why can't you buy me this car? Why can't you buy me this house? Like, I know you're rich. But in all reality, let's break it down. $1.9 billion. You can get all that if you break it up in payments. I think it's 20 years. I think it is. If you do it over payment system, or you can take a lump sum of cash. Now, here's the thing. You get taxed twice for this cash. Certain states, you get taxed 4 times. So for instance, in the state of Maine, you're going to get taxed 4 times. You're going to get taxed twice from the state, and twice from the federal. So when you first claim the money, they're going to take out federal and state taxes right then and there. And then when it comes time for your tax season, you're also going to pay federal and state taxes again on that money. So now take that $1.9 billion cash value, I think is like $700 million. Once you pay your taxes and stuff like that, you're down to roughly about $500 million. So that 1.9 billion just went down to 500 million with a fucking split of a second. But still, $500 million, don't get me wrong, is a shit ton of money. But you can
Man.
blow through that, though.
What
Like,
happened to taxation without representation, man? Jesus.
right?
America is confused right now.
Oh, America's very confused. Especially, I don't think we're confused anymore, though. I think people are starting to wake up. This is a great way to bring into the midterms. It's a great way to wake up right now. Because where the midterms are coming up, I foresee a huge red wave turnout coming out. I foresee a lot more Republicans getting in because people are tired, number one, of high gas prices. They're tired of seeing the gas prices go up and up and up. And let me sit on this gas price talk real quick. I will tell everybody right now, yes, the president, yes, let me repeat, yes, the president does have a play within the gas prices. And to say that the president does not is asinine. The president, by all means, has it. Let's go back, folks, to when the big bad orange man, as you know, as Trump was in office. You were loving filling up your tank. You were loving taking family trips. You were able to take family trips because gas was at a good price and you were able to afford that family trip. It only cost you $25 to fill your tank, if not less, depending on what you drove. Now look at where we're at. We pulled our troops out of Afghanistan. Great. We have this war going on between Russia and Ukraine. We stopped all oil. We stopped all new contracts for oil production to be done here in our country, the United States. We've also stopped the pipeline. The pipeline's done. Granted, the pipeline would not be helping us now, but it would be helping us down the line. And now look at where we're at for our prices. They're starting to go sky high. We've actually hit over $4 a gallon here in Maine now. So I have a feeling we may see $5 here in Maine very shortly. But our heating oil, this is what I'm scared about in Maine and other states right now that are coming up to winters. Because you got to think right now, wintertime, you're going to have to heat your home, right? You can't go without having heat in your home.
What kind of gas do you use for that?
Number 2, heating oil.
Okay.
All right. So let me tell you right now, if I open up the app that I use to order my heating oil, it's $5.39 a gallon right now.
That's for your house or for your vehicle?
That's for my house. $5.
What's the difference between the two fuels? Do you know?
So gas is more refined, it's thinner. Heating
Okay.
oil is a thick substance. It's thicker and stuff like that.
Okay.
It's got a better burning. I couldn't tell you. I'm not much.
Okay.
I'm not
Okay.
only in business,
But it's a different, like it's got a different thickness and shit. Like it's a different.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So that's $5.39 a gallon. I go through roughly about 100 gallons a month of oil during the heating season. That's what we went through last year. And that's up because I think we also added an electric hot water heater, which I think those two are working coincide with each other because what it is where our heating system is when we have the base radiators in our house. So when it heats up the water and then shoots the water up through the pipes and it's the hot water that warms our home. So that's what we used our boiler for. So at $5.39 a gallon, that's $539 for 100 gallons. Now let me go back real quick. Let me ask you this, Gary, since we don't have any callers in right now. On what month are we in right now? No, November 19th, 2020. Who was president?
2020?
No, 2020. Yep.
Not Biden.
Okay. How much do you think I was paying per gallon for my heating oil?
221. 220.
I wish it was. No, I don't wish. It was actually even lower than that. It was $1.64 a gallon. It cost me $164 to keep my family warm during the wintertime. That's crazy.
That came through.
I am sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We are trying out a new system for the phone lines. It's tied into my cell phone, and I just watched my brother's reaction, and I saw the text come through. So what I'm going to have to do real quick is I am going to have to. Man, how am I going to do?
Got to silence it and just keep your eye on it if anyone calls.
I'm gonna have to. Yeah, we'll see if I can do this here. All right. So yeah, that was messed up. I'm sorry about that,
No, that
folks.
was great. That was great.
Y'all heard that woohoo text message. I'm sorry. We're playing with audio issues here. I was just wondering what that sound was. Madison Lalonde says over on Twitch. Yeah, my apologies for that. This new phone line system that we're trying to integrate in with the podcast is very interesting. Different tweaks will work out throughout time. Maybe I'll find a different device to tie in for that. Yeah, so it's just ridiculous, right? So we got the gas price. So everybody's going to the voting polls that are in cold states. They're going after the cost of fuel is on their mind, keeping their families warm throughout the winter months, keeping their vehicles running to make it back and forth to work, because it's sad right now that people are actually sitting there and they have to contemplate, do I put gas in my vehicle or do I feed my family? Like, these are real life decisions now. These were decisions before for, low. I hate calling people lower class, for people that are a little bit less unfortunate. It was
on
even
a different income
on a
scale.
different income scale, right? But now you're looking at your middle class. I guess you can call you middle class Americans, and now going through this even at that point now. Now they're even sitting there saying, shit, do I put oil in my house or gas in my car so I can get back and forth to work to make money to pay for more gas, or do I feed my family? And let's talk about food. Dozen of eggs, $6 for a dozen of eggs.
I don't know where you're shopping, bro, but you need to switch it up.
Everywhere. Get food prices up, and
I buy 60 eggs for like $12.
That's nice, man. That we can get a dozen for $6. I think my wife even just posted something like that on Facebook. Let me just double check on that real quick. Hold on. We're going to go to the wife's Facebook real quick. I can almost guarantee she posted, because she went grocery shopping with me today. Yeah, $6, $6 not including tax for a dozen eggs. Get the fuck out of here. Don't forget to vote tomorrow. She posted on her Facebook.
Hey, for real, but like, everything is about to get a lot more expensive. That's the thing that people don't understand. This isn't even the beginning.
No, this is
like food. All of the costs to raise cattle have gone I don't want to say exponentially up, but they've doubled. So, the farmers can't absorb all of those costs. And then, all of the people that are involved in the supply chain, from the processing people to the packaging people to the transportation people, all of their costs have gone up over the past 2 years, so it's like,
right.
what we're seeing right now is barely anything. Like a $35-$40 gallon of milk might be a reality, maybe,
Right.
but I don't know if it'll get that bad. But I don't know. Depends. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see how things even out.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. It's scary. And you got to think too, how is everybody loving those new pay raises?
Yeah. Right.
Because look at that now, because everybody asks what, $18, $19, $20 an hour. How are they liking that right now? Because I bet you don't feel like you're making that $18 or $19 an hour.
No, not at all. You're definitely not feeling like you're making anything close to that.
Right. I mean, because what happens again, if you force people to start paying people more money, it's going to tinkle down to everybody, because that business can't sit there and absorb that cost. And here's a legit thing. I'm a business owner, and I had to start increasing the pay of my employees as well. And I just did my P&L, my profit and loss sheet. I'm nowhere where I should be right now. I am 50-50.
Yeah, nobody is. Like, there's very few people right now that are killing it.
Right. I'm at a 50-50. That means 50% goes out to payroll, 50% goes back to myself and my business. So if you really want to do the math between the cost of what it costs to run my business and when I pay on payroll, my employees essentially are making more than me combined.
Oh, yeah.
Which is not the way a business is supposed to run.
Times
No,
are tough, brother.
times
Times
are
are
extremely tough,
tough.
right?
Yeah.
But we make do with it and we make it happen, right? I mean, what is it? Something like 65% of Americans right now are living off of their credit cards because they just cannot afford this new cost of living underneath the Biden administration. They can't.
Yeah.
So therefore, they're spending money on their credit cards and they're raising up debt, and then they're having trouble paying back that credit card because when you borrow from a credit card, well, you got to pay it back.
At like 18%.
18, 19.
Even if you have great credit, it doesn't matter.
No, they get you on that interest, man. It's one of the pleasures of having a credit card, right?
Yeah.
It's fucked up. Underneath the Biden administration, I will say underneath the Biden administration, anybody like to chime in and call in and tell me it's not the Biden administration's fault, please feel free to call me 207-209-1888. I would love to talk to you. I've been having arguments with my mother. And the reason why I made the point on the gas and how the president does have play into it is one of the conversations I've had with my mother. Because when I complained about the high gas prices, my mother made a statement to me saying the president has no pull in gas. She straight up 100% believes that president has no pull in gas. Okay. I'll let you say what you want to say because I'm too tired to argue. That's all we friggin' do. We have the biggest division here in our country, so I'm tired of arguing. So I'll let you think what you want to think.
But
then
when gas comes down.
Exactly. That's what I was getting to. But then gas started coming down, right? So when the gas prices came down, my mother made this big old post on Facebook. Oh, thank you, Biden, for bringing down our gas. Thank you so. What?
That's when the screen grab comes into play.
Like,
and then you just comment on that post with the screen grab, highlighting their comment.
I should have. I didn't. I should have because it's my mother, right? Like,
I know.
I'm amazed that people are not waking up. A large majority of Democrats have started waking up. Tulsi Gabbard, for instance, has woken up and has realized what is going on and that this new Democratic Party that's out there, this woke Democratic Party, and realizing that they're going down a dangerous road that is going to bring America down to its knees. We're already
what's crazy is like I was a liberal.
You was. Oh, you were definitely a liberal.
I was definitely a liberal. And I don't even remember what it was that made me snap out of it, but something happened. And I was just like, that's it just doesn't make sense, and then you just start like questioning all the other perspectives. And it's like, the problem is that the language that they use on the extreme left is very convincing, and it almost makes you feel bad if you don't agree with it, so people just go along with it. So it's like straight up manipulation. And if they try to make it seem like you can't hold two conflicting thoughts at the same time, right? I'm not really in support of getting all the home. Like, I don't want to just give them all free housing because I don't feel like that's the solution. You know what I mean? Like, the problem exploded over the last 2 years. So that means it can be corrected just as quickly.
Oh, I can. A majority of homelessness right now is happening because of course, the inflation. I've watched 2-bedroom apartments here in Maine are now going for just about $2,000 for a 2-bedroom apartment.
That's
I rented a 4-bedroom, two bathroom apartment back in the day, and we were paying $1,500 a month for it. $1,500 a month for a 4-bedroom, 2-bath.
Right.
That same apartment now goes for about $2,300 a month.
Wow.
When
I was in LA before I left, when we were still living in apartments, it was like I think it was like $1,600 for a 1-bedroom apartment, and then we found a back house for like 650 square feet, so small, but it was like I want to say it was like 1,500 a month, dude.
Oh shit.
And it was a tiny little back house, $1,500 a month. Like, that's expensive in LA. 650 square feet, $1,500, and a back house, shitty converted garage.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
That's absolutely
$1,500, and we were like stoked to have that.
Now, don't get me wrong. I don't really blame the landlords because
I mean, they got to make money, right?
they got to make money, right? They can't just sit there and break even on their mortgage. I see it all the time on Facebook. If you follow like your community pages on Facebook, like, I don't know, for instance, I'm gonna pick a town in Maine, Portland, Maine. If you follow Portland, Maine, like Grady Yard Sales or whatever like that, you'll see people complaining about the price of rent. And they'll say, why can't the landlord give me a break? Can't do that. It's like, you understand that the landlord asshole has to, number one, make a profit. They have a mortgage. So they got to pay the bank an X amount of mortgage. So we'll say the apartment building alone is, I don't know. Apartment buildings right now, probably right around 700,000. So on a 700,000, depends on where you,
That's a cheap ass apartment.
Well, we'll just say a 3-unit apartment, 700,000. Well, all right, fine. I'll go higher.
Okay.
Well, I'm in Maine. Okay. You're from Cali.
I know.
From
Well,
Price.
yeah.
I'm using it for an example, you dipshit.
That's very affordable though. 700,000 for an apartment.
700,000 for an apartment. I've seen them out there before. I'm sure they go for a lot higher now. I haven't checked the market lately.
Multifamily is where it's at, bro. We can need that's what we need to invest in right there, bro.
Right? It would be. Yeah. Let's
talk about that on another show.
So $700,000 for an apartment. So we'll say their mortgage is gonna be, I don't know. We'll say the mortgage on that. So I'm paying 16. So we'll say $2,800. That sound like a decent mortgage?
I was gonna say 3,500, but
all right, so $3,500 for a mortgage, and we'll say they got 4 units in that apartment. So now you got to take that 3,500, you got to divide that by 4, and then on top of that, you've got to add in time in case there's any repairs that need to be fixed, anything that goes wrong, boilers, windows gets broken, the driveway needs to get repaved. Plow, if you're going to provide the plow for your tenants. There's multiple things, right? That landlords can't take a loss. I'm sure they would love to if they could help you out, but they got to make a living because a landlord is a business. It's not just somebody saying, I want to buy this apartment for the kindness of my heart. I want to buy this and let people move. There ain't a single person. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is somebody out there that wants to do that. But in my mind, it's a business. As a landlord, it's a business. And yeah, we went completely sidetracked again.
Yep.
Fucking love
it's all right though. It's all right.
It is. It's just we go everywhere, and I think that's what makes our podcast interesting.
So so look, the housing market will recover too.
It will, and it's already slowly starting to trickle down now. The cost of houses right now are starting to go down. We're seeing it here in our state.
Yeah. Because nobody wants to pay fucking 7% interest rate on a $700,000 multifamily property.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Maybe if you win $1.9 billion, you might want to sit there and say, "Hey, yeah,
I'll buy a couple of those free and clear, and see what happens."
Right.
And then maybe if you're a tenant, maybe you'll be lucky. You'll get a break. Probably not.
Right.
Probably not. Probably not.
But
maybe though. Maybe.
Just maybe. The tenant will be their children, their in-laws. Be like, listen, I'm not buying you a house. I'll buy an apartment. Y'all can move in and bug each other in the apartments.
Oof.
Yeah, I thought about doing that. That was one of the things I always said. If I ever won the lottery, I'm not sure until my kids got a family, I probably would not buy them a family. I'd probably buy an apartment building. And say,
yeah,
here you go.
Yeah.
Live in this. Get yourself situated. Get yourself, to where you want to be in life. Once you get a family going, then I will buy you a home.
Right.
So you can raise your family in that home.
And that's dope. I mean, you got a big enough family to where that would also make sense. But it's like, but that's a good idea.
It is. I mean, if you think about it, because just because you got the money don't mean your kids got the money.
Well, no, but the kids think that they do.
Oh, they'll definitely
And
will.
that's the caveat.
Right. And well, look at Paris Hilton. Look at freaking
Well, that's a slightly different level of money. I mean, 100 millionaires, slightly different than like a kid born to like a $10 million family or some shit.
well, I guess the point where I guess where I can get to on when I was going with that was because we're talking about with everything going on, inflation and stuff like that. And our government, we have a lot of privileged liberals out there right now that were raised in a certain way that think everything should be handed to them. And I want to say that because of Biden's latest tweet. Biden made a tweet 2 hours ago on Facebook. He made a tweet on Facebook. He made a tweet on Twitter.
Yeah,
Oh,
I love it. I love it.
That says you don't get to accept hundreds of thousands of dollars in a pandemic loans and then attack my administration for helping working folks get some relief. And I can only imagine that he's talking about the college forgiveness loans because the court shut it down since the last time we talked. The court said, no, you need to pause that. That can't happen. And now they're fighting for it again. You and I both agree that this is something that shouldn't be happening. This is wasted money. This is what causes our deficit to go up higher in our country.
Yep.
I did say at one point that, if the job was pertaining to something that could benefit America as far as certain jobs like trades that are slowly dying in our country, then I got that, like plumbing, doctors, lawyers, stuff like that. Yes, I kind of get that. So that's where we
Did you just put plumbers and doctors in the same category?
Right, I did, dude. We need
right.
we
I
need
like that.
we
need them, and
we need them because the kind of company I own, there's a lot of people that clog toilets, man. Especially people who work out. We're not going to get there though because we're on a podcast. I don't want to gross anybody out. But let's just say you people that go to the gym and work out and eat too much protein, please stop using the gym's bathroom. That's all I want to say.
You're bananas. You're out of your mind, man.
But no, seriously though, there's too many privileged out there, and I raise my kids, and I do it now to not be privileged. Like we were living comfortable prior to the Biden administration. We were living very comfortable. I was able to order off Amazon friggin' religiously. Almost every day I was ordering something on Amazon. I'll be lucky now if I order Amazon twice a month.
Right.
I'm home more because you can't really go out and spend money because it's not there. So I taught my kids at a decent age, even before we started the business, that you've got to earn money to respect money. If you have money given to you, and this goes for anybody who's collecting, and I don't badger me because anybody who collects money from the government, you can get off of it. And I'm a written example of that. You can.
Hell yeah, you can.
But when you sit there and you get this free money, whether it's from the government or from your family, you come with this mindset that, oh, I don't need to do nothing. It's here for me to use. If I need more, I'll just get more from them. And then that mindset just makes you not want to work. It makes you more lazy. It makes you feel more privileged. It makes you feel like you're more entitled. It really does. But
really does.
If you work hard for your money, you're getting blood, sweat, and tears from your work, and you're out there, there's a couple of things that's going to happen. You're going to realize, okay, the dollar's worth more to me because I worked my ass off for this dollar. So now you're going to be a little bit better with your money. You're not going to go stir crazy with it. You're going to respect it more. You're going to respect people in the workforce more. And you're going to respect you can actually probably even respect the welfare system a little bit more in that aspect too. And you probably will be upset a little bit more when you start seeing people abuse the system. And one of the things that we're seeing with our government, with all this free cash it's been handing out, like right now we got elections here in Maine, Paul LePage versus Janet Mills, the governors running. Paul LePage, obviously Republican, Janet Mills, Democrat. Janet Mills is currently our current governor here in the state of Maine. An absolute joke. She shut down our state during the whole COVID thing. and has destroyed Maine. Multiple businesses have closed down and they've been shut down permanently because of this. Mainers lost jobs. We're still having issues with employments. I'm still having trouble with employment, and there's multiple other businesses out there that are having trouble with staffing because people still don't want to work because they got used to that unemployment check that the government was giving to them on and on. Now that has stopped, but they got used to it, and most of them now probably out there collecting this. What do they call it? TANF, food stamps, and whatever else is out there that you can get. And folks, let me tell you, I'm not bashing anybody. Let me repeat that. I'm not bashing anybody. It's there if you need it, and it's there to help you, but it's there as a temporary relief for you to get on your feet to make your own living.
There's documentaries of people using those programs and like getting their shit together. And one program will help you get to another one, do another one, and they all like effectively level you up in life, you know?
Right.
So
that still went off, didn't it?
So it's real. It's real. Those programs are very beneficial.
Right. So did my text message just go off again?
Yeah, it did. Sure did.
All right. I'm sorry. Everybody that's going to hear that, I apologize. I don't know how to fix it. I guess over the course of the time frame, I will figure out how to fix it.
You'll get it figured out.
I will. So for my apologies, and when my phone goes off, oh, wait a minute. Wait. Get it. Hold on. I just muted the bitch, I think. I think I muted it. Maybe I got it muted. I don't know. Hopefully. We'll see if that works. All right. For the meantime, folks, if you hear the text messages, my apologies. We're playing with the new system, and I've got our phone lines tied in. If anybody ever wants to join in on this conversation you're listening into, please feel free to give us a call. 207-209-1888, or on the Wisdom app, feel free to chime in as well. Yeah. So... And when I'm saying I'm not bashing anybody, a little bit more background for me, for anybody that's just tuning in for the first time ever. I am your biggest welfare recipient ever back in my day. I collected everything underneath the sun. Social Security, TANF, food stamps, you name it, I got it. I was young. I wasn't making that much money.
And you had a family to support.
And I had a family to support. So that system was there for us. My wife does have a disability. She is now not collecting any of this stuff. We are now not collecting any of it. We have now successfully run a business, but it took a lot of trial and errors. I worked pizza joints. I've worked, fast food joints, anything I could. Even when we were on this stuff, I still had jobs to try to get up there. But of course, we weren't getting paid enough. So we were still in the system, and it always leveraged out of your money. But there comes a time in your life when you sit there and say, I cannot be on this no more, because you realize when you're on this stuff, the government owns you. 100% owns you when you are on this stuff. They want every little piece of document from you in order to collect this stuff. They want your pay stubs. They want your vehicle information. They want your house information, your land. They want everything. So it comes at a time in your life, and it did with ours, that we cannot have this no more. We cannot let them have this control over us. And that's when we fought even harder, to the point where we now own our own company, and we're out here doing this. And that's why I think I could say that, yeah, maybe at one point I was more of a liberal, or I was more of a Democrat, because I found a post. Mind you, I'm rooting for Paul LePage, and we'll get back to that conversation because I completely went off again because of the text message. But I found a post back when Paul LePage was first running for governor many years ago, and I bitched about him. I said, if Paul LePage ever becomes our governor, we're screwed. Maine is doomed. Like, I was not for him. Fast forward to now, I'm telling everybody, no, we need Paul LePage. We need him back in office as our governor, because Janet Mills has destroyed our state. She did not handle COVID-19 precautions the way she should have. She should have never shut down our country. No governor should have shut down any of the fucking state. I said country, any of their states. She should have never shut us down. We should have stayed open. We should have kept kids out of school as long as we did. Education numbers will show that. The education numbers U.S. wide are all low, extremely low. They should not be that low. We need to be focusing on education when people go to the polls. We need to be focusing on the shutdowns. We need to be focusing on inflation, gas prices, so forth. But Janet Mills has done this, but I completely forgot why I brought up Janet Mills and Paula Page originally.
Because the elections are coming up.
Yeah.
And things are fucked up right now, and
They're absolutely
going to
fucked.
make a change. Now's the time to fucking be a part of change.
It is. And if you've never voted before in your life, I advise you to sit there and really look at where you're at right now in life, look at where our country's at and decide where you want to go. And I will tell everybody, I really don't care where you go. I am 100% Republican now, but I don't care who you're voting for. All I ask is that you get out there and vote, because every vote does count. Every vote. There's people out there I see all the time. Matter of fact, I just talked to someone. It's like, you gonna vote? No. Why not? Because it doesn't affect my life. It's going to be the same thing after I'm done. And I sit there and I'm amazed. Like, have you not seen what's been going on in our country? Have you not seen what the Biden administration has done? You're going to tell me that voting does not affect your life? Voting 100% affects your life. There's so much stuff that you have to watch.
And here's the problem, though, is because it directly affects your life.
Right.
That's like, it's like, you don't think it's affecting your life, but all of these higher prices are, I mean, there's a lot of geopolitical that's also going along to cause a lot of this as well. So we can't, honestly, if we take a real big step back right now, like, we have chicken that's grown in Georgia that we send to fucking China to get processed and cleaned, and then they send it back to us, and then we're expected to sell that chicken for $5.
Right. Yeah, I'm sorry. Email.
So it's like, this system is weird. It doesn't make sense. Like, that system needs to be brought back and localized. Are you trying to tell me that we don't have the ability to process chickens here in America?
We 100% do.
Right? Like, we have Tyson Foods, right? Isn't that a huge processing plant? Is there capacity not capable of, right? So what does that mean? Open more plants, right? Like, I don't know, man. It's just, there's a lot of weirdness.
Right. And now, one of the questions our Governor LePage and Janet Mills was asked here in Maine is about the border safety. Obviously, we notice that we're being attacked in the U.S. and people don't realize it by all the people coming across the border right now, all the fentanyl coming across the border. But there are, some families that are legitimately coming, escaping out of a bad situation. And they asked, what would they do if they came over? And LePage instantly said, get them to work.
Get
them to work. Get the immigrants, the aliens to work. I mean, it does kind of make sense. If we got a shortage of workers, get them to work, get them to become legal residents. Because I will agree, I think we need to toughen up our borders. I believe everybody should come into America if they want to, but they need to be coming over the legal way, right? They need to come to the legal process to become a U.S. citizen. Now, if you're escaping because of a bad situation, whether your country's coming after you, and stuff,
if you're an actual refugee,
I 100% agree why you're trying to sneak into our country, but do it legally. Go to the embassy and plead your case and do it that. So. But that's just another issue that we're running into that people need to look at right now. If you
like how much easier, I don't know. It's like, do you want to make it easier, or do you want to, you still need to screen people, right?
You got to screen them, because we got how many terrorists?
We have national security issues that we need to be mindful of.
We do. Look at 9/11. It seems everybody's forgot about 9/11. A lot of people forgot about what happened on 9/11.
Wasn't 9/11 an inside job, though?
See, that's a conspiracy theory that has never been proven or disproven, right? So
if it is an inside job, then there's technically no reason to fear or have any
Right. But if not,
animosity.
the people that did it was also part of a terror cell. The people that got behind it was part of a terror cell. So the
That
question,
conspiracy theorists would say the U.S. created.
touche. So you see, that's another one. I let you guys that's well, we'll come back to that one on another show. I mean, I would love to talk conspiracy theories again. I think we
I
had
know, dude. I
we
know
had
there's a handful of people that are so good about that shit.
right. We had a blast when we did that episode, so I think we can come back to that one. But no, we do have a border crisis. So when people go into your voting polls tomorrow, you got to look at that. You got to look at our border crisis. You got to think how many people are coming across with fentanyl. Huge issue right now in America. Huge issue. I can't remember the numbers of how many people are dying daily from fentanyl, and they are bringing fentanyl over now that are saying that it's a certain pill, like people who do Adderall and stuff like that. The fentanyl's just disguised as Adderall.
Oof.
So when people take them, oh, I bought Adderall, and they take it. Next thing you know, they OD'd on fentanyl. Fentanyl's cheap, dude. So they get the fentanyl. It's cheap, so you can make it in the pill
So are
form.
they trying to kill people, or are they trying to cut it enough to where they can get people hooked and make profit off them? Like, I don't understand the
That I don't
the
get as well.
end goal with this fentanyl stuff.
That's $1 million question, because I don't know where they're planning on going with that. What is the end game for fentanyl? Are they trying to do this with fentanyl, like you said, to gain that addiction because it's a deeper, bigger high from fentanyl, or are they doing it because they are trying to kill people here in America? Like, there's an addiction problem here in America already, right? People are addicted to heroin like crazy right now. They're addicted to coke, and they've been cutting up fentanyl to go into heroin. That's how a lot of when the ODs first started out, that's how they're doing it. They were cutting it with the heroin, and people were just ODing because they were taking a larger amount. They thought would be a normal dose from a heroin that they get their high from, but live through it. They would take that was already laced with fentanyl, and they would OD from it, right? So the question is literally, like you were saying, though, is the end game to try to make profit because you're getting people more high, they get hooked a little bit quicker, so they're coming back for more and feeding for more, or are you legitimately trying to kill us? Which route is it? Or is it both? I mean, because
I don't know the answer.
Fentanyl is being cut in Mexico. It is being cut in Mexico. I can't. God, dude, I really do need to start doing more research before we do this, because I was just reading up on this. Like, it is sent to Mexico to be processed. The cartels actually process it, and then the cartels are sending their mules over across the border to bring it into the United States. That was actually a huge documentary that I was watching on that, and of course, what goes in one ear goes out the fucking other, and I only get bits and pieces of the information. It's like having a dream, dude. It's horrible. Right. Like, I try to better educate myself, and it's like, whew.
Yeah, I mean, this stuff is most likely being smuggled in from somewhere, right?
Right. It's coming in from the mule. They're coming over from the border, because you can't bring it over illegally. You can't come through Border Patrol and say, "Hey, how you doing, Mr. Border Patrol agent? I've got 20 pounds of fentanyl in the back of my truck."
So what do you just get a bunch of? I mean, it's coming from Mexico for sure. Like, it's not coming from the water. It's not coming from a small private aircraft.
I'm sure it's coming from those as well, but it's also come from people that are running through the border. They've already they've been busting people left and right that are coming through the border with fentanyl and backpacks of fentanyl, indigested fentanyl and everything else in the little baggies, swallowing them. Because you swallow the bags and you get across the border.
Why don't you just boof it instead of swallow it?
I don't know, but
shove it up your butt instead of swallow it. Isn't that what people do when they smuggle drugs?
I have no clue. I couldn't even imagine,
dude.
Like
just shove a couple of kilos up your butt and just pray to God that the packaging doesn't.
Why?
I mean, I guess if you're gonna get 40, like, look, what if they kidnap your 8-year-old child and they're holding your wife hostage, and they're like, look, you got to get this shit over there, and if you survive, you'll get $20,000 and your family will survive, and if you don't survive, then we're gonna kill your family too.
Then yeah, I get it, because anybody's gonna do anything.
Then you're gonna all of a sudden love shoving stuff up your boofer.
Well, I mean, put in that perspective, yeah, because obviously anybody's going to do anything and everything they
Right,
can. for
exactly.
family. His family's number one.
But what if you're just a crackhead and they're like, yo, I'll give you 20 grand if you shove 4 keys up your boof
Right.
and swim
But still, so obviously that's another problem we're having in our country.
22 miles to
Right.
the
We're getting off the subject. Okay, so back to midterms. Issues people need to be watching out for. We've talked about gas prices, heating oil prices, because it's a huge problem. A lot of people are going to freeze this year. I know it. We're going to see more death rise come up because people freeze in their homes because they can't afford it. We're going to see more fires in homes because people are going to use different heating methods within their homes. They're going to be using K1 heaters inside their homes, which are a big fire hazard. They're going to be using electric heaters in their
shitty
homes.
electric ones,
Yeah,
right?
because they're a major fire hazard. We're going to see a lot more homes burning this year. I can see it already happening. This is why we need to go red, and we need to get the Republicans in there. Heating, oil, food inflation. The cost of food is going up. People are starting to decide whether or not they need to heat their home or feed their family. It's a really hard decision. It really is, to be honest with you. Do you heat your family, keep them warm, or do you feed your family? Or is everybody going to start living off unhealthy shit like ramen noodles throughout the fucking winter? Or friggin', because unfortunately, that's another problem that we have. This is another issue we have in our country, is that it's cheaper to eat junk.
I mean,
it's healthy.
Look, yes and no, to be honest, because like it's people eat when they're bored.
They do.
That's the problem. Because if we eat when we're bored and we entertain ourselves all day with these devices and we're not getting out and being very active, right? So that's the real problem. And it's like if you're eating for a satiation and survival, you can damn well afford more than enough food to eat healthily and have all your nutritional needs met and not be a fat ass. In fact, you'll be probably far healthier than you've ever been if you eat how you're supposed to eat.
He's called me a fat ass a lot of times too, folks. I just want to
so many times because you were a fat ass.
What are you talking about?
And are you now?
No.
And how much better do you feel?
I feel phenomenal now.
Right. And that was what, 60 pounds?
I was 260 pounds. I'm now down to 184.
So that's you were a chunky monkey, bro.
Hell yeah, I was, man. I love my food.
I mean, who doesn't? And you still do. You still grub. You still eat some shit. It is what it is, right?
Right.
So I don't buy that. Food's expensive.
Back in midterms, though.
Yeah.
Food is expensive.
It is expensive, but it's like for
$6 a dozen eggs.
It's not cheaper to eat shittier food. It's not cheaper to eat shitty food. It's just not.
Some ways it is, some ways it isn't.
You just got to cook your own food. That's
yes,
the difference.
No, 100%. You do got to cook your own food. You got to stop.
You cook your own food. You will live a healthier life.
Or less processed shit, definitely. Oh, that's what I've been trying to get my family into. That's why I love Pinterest right now. Just so everybody knows, Pinterest is awesome.
And if you're broke, honestly, pinto beans and white rice is a complete protein.
Yes.
And do that. And if you need to throw in some fruit or veggies to like feel human, do it. But that's super cheap, and it's really a full protein.
Back to midterms.
Sorry,
it's okay. We got ADD and ADHD. I think it's why
food is important. People need to be healthy.
Food is important. So back to where we're at midterm. So obviously the cost of food, everything, like $6 for a dozen eggs is a freaking joke. You also want to look at other things. You want to look at the division that's being caused within our country right now. Do you think really the Republicans are causing this biggest divide? Maybe they have a small play in it, but let me tell you, the Democrats have been pulling the biggest play in this game. I'm saying a small play because my brother and I did see this pretty cool, interesting analogy made on TikTok with a gentleman who actually compared both right and left sides as Bloods and the Crips. Remember that video?
Oh, yeah.
right? He referred to them as the Bloods and the Crips, and it was
Yeah.
a great analogy. Like, it was just a down to freaking earth analogy, and it was spot
Go
on.
down the corner to pick up your
Hold on.
drugs, or you go to the pharmacy down on the corner. Do
Hold
you
on.
have that video? Can you play it?
My wife shared it on her Facebook. I'm not sure how many posts she has made. So if you give me 1 second, I'll see if I can find it, because that
How did
was
you send it to me?
wait a minute, right here. I got it. Let me know if you hear the sound first. Hold on.
Let's talk about it.
Right here,
Yep.
can you hear
You
it?
all realize
All right, let's go ahead and play this.
everybody is right now. For instance, Operation Warp Speed with the vaccinations. Y'all remember when Joe Biden was against getting the vaccinations because he said that it wouldn't have gone through its trials and tribulations and all of the testing needed? And Operation Warp Speed was actually brought on by Donald Trump. You keeping up? But it seems that most MAGA fans are unvaccinated or against the vaccination. After Joe Biden became president, then he forced vaccination. But just a few months before he was the president, he told y'all he wouldn't trust it. So Biden goes on from, I won't take it, to now everyone has to take it, especially the military. If you don't take it and you're in the military, you're getting kicked out. I felt bad for the medical field, all of the nurses. Hey, nurse, did you get your vaccination? No? You're fired. And then it was that time when Donald Trump had said something about the vaccination and actually got booed.
I remember that.
If you're a Democrat, you're blaming everything on the Republicans. If you're a Republican, you're blaming everything on the Democrats. We can all clearly see that there is a problem. Now, if 50% think that it's the Democrats, the other 50% thinks that it's the Republicans, how come we can't come together to say that it's 100% the government that's the problem? Why is it that people feel the need to attach themselves to something political like a Democrat or a Republican when none of them has our best interests at heart? They're nothing more than gangsters, just like the Crips and Bloods. The Democrats in the blue, Crips, the Republicans in the red, Bloods. And we all know that gangs breed violent, heartless gangsters. Y'all know, like in the movies, when the mob didn't get paid, they sent their goons out for you. Yeah, them 87,000 armed IRS agents. And you know how gangs got different sets? Everyone from the same gang, but a different hood. The government got different sets too. The FBI, the CIA, the DHS, DOJ. You catching my drift? Gangsters sell their drugs on the block. The government sell their drugs at the pharmacy, at the end of the block. I'm just saying, maybe y'all need to figure out who the real enemy is. You say Republicans, they say Democrats. I say it's all of them.
Like, that is dead on.
100%.
Like, that guy's nailed it. When I saw that, I loved it. I shared it to you. I shared it to my wife, and she instantly shared it on Facebook. No, that was a dead on explanation. Like I said, this is the most important election coming up in our time, though. It really is. We need the Republicans to take the House. We do. They need to take it. I will agree with them. Not all Republicans are good. Not all. Right now, not any Democrat's good. I can't. You guys, you want to feed me some good stuff about Democrats or who might be good in the Democratic Party other than Tulsi Gabbard, please let me know. And she's not even Democrat anymore. I think she went independent. She's not Republican. I think she went independent.
Yeah, she's not. She's definitely not a Republican, but she's absolutely not a Democrat. So,
right. Another important factor coming up in midterms that everybody's talking about is abortion. You and I have already gone through a major podcast where we talked about where our feelings are on that. But some of the advertisements that we're seeing right now coming out with abortion is completely crazy. They're telling them that it'll be 100% illegal in all 50 states if you vote in Republicans. That's not the case. Like, people, please start doing more research. Stop watching mainstream media, especially when we're coming up to a certain time in our country as far as elections go. You do need to stop listening to 6, 8, 13.
The
Even,
problem, sorry,
no, go for it.
in my opinion, the problem with the whole abortion thing is the Republicans are making their decision from a place of biblical reference. And that's the part that I have a problem with personally, because it's like separation of church and state. Supposed to, I get it. You're supposed to be conservative and like have these, like, you know, be God fearing, good, moral Christian, whatever. But I don't know. It's like you can't be making a decision for other people based on the Bible. That's very un-American.
Right.
It's like that's very unpatriotic. That goes very much against freedom. Like, and that's why I feel like it's hard for a lot of Americans to hold two conflicting thoughts at the same time. Like, I am a pro-life person, but I am pro-choice for the people, because that's, I can't
Right.
tell people, you know what I mean?
But see, I've had this argument with people before, and the way I look at it, we might as well get into it just for a few minutes, because everybody has their different opinions. I'm 100% pro-life. The only ways that I feel as if abortion, if it was to happen, is number one, if the mother's life is in absolutely danger, if the
Of
mother was
course.
going to die, I
Absolutely.
understand that. If someone was raped, yes, I get that. Who wants to raise a child?
But that's up to that.
It's up
That's
to
a
that person.
choice.
Right,
That's a
that's the choice,
choice
right?
that
That is,
they can make, right? So that's a choice.
but to abort a baby because your baby's going to come out mentally challenged or has needs, I don't think that's right.
Quality of life doesn't matter to you on that level, then?
I feel as if the child's living. See, that's where it's hard.
That's like that's a hard thing. That's a fucking hard
That's a
question, right?
hard fucking question, right?
That's
It
a
is
really
extremely
hard question.
It is,
Because
so
if you're a God-fearing person, you're going to say God is intending these challenges upon that person, so they're going to say it absolutely must be born specifically because they're challenged and have these deficits, right? Because that's God's will. And then other people are going to say, not with that mindset. They're going to say this being's quality of life is probably going to be subpar. And it's like, you could stop it now before you're feeding it. Right. It's not like you're not like 26 weeks in, pulling the trigger is different.
Now,
Like,
here's a problem that I have though. I've been seeing it all over TikTok. I've been seeing it all over Twitter. There's people that use abortion as a form of birth control. I just had an argument with someone.
and that's abuse, right?
That is 100% abuse. And I feel as if, here's my situation with abortion. Let me get it out of here. Number one, you guys just heard those views, but here's the number two thing. People using it as a form of birth control need to have them castrated, and they need to have their tubes tied, because obviously they don't want to have kids. And I don't care if later on down the road they do. They're
unacceptable.
They're already saying abortion is birth control. So why not just freaking not have them at all? Just because obviously you want to go out and have sex. You just want to go out and freaking bang everybody at the club, but you don't want to take the responsibility if you get pregnant. That is complete bullshit.
Right.
That is, in my eyes.
And like ultimately, like, to be honest, man, like, whether or not it's those plan Bs or like they're just doing a procedure, like, that's not good for the body. Like, it's harsh on the body, and it's like those decisions at some point are gonna add up, and it's not gonna be for the better, right?
And yeah, here's another argument, a statement that I made on Facebook. I'm not sure if you saw this one.
What do you got?
So There are people telling me it's a woman's right to have an abortion if she chooses.
Hmm.
Now, my fighting the fence, what I was just talking about, people who go out into clubs and fuck whoever,
Hmm.
and then goes out and have an abortion.
Hmm.
What if the father, the mother wants the baby, but the father don't? Mother keeps baby, but hey, the father didn't want it. If you're going to say a woman's okay to get an abortion without checking with the father, father's like, hey, I don't want to do child support then. Why not?
I mean,
Why
that's
can't
funny.
dad have a say?
That's a funny point of view, right?
It is a
And
funny
so,
point
like,
of view, but if you really look at it, why should the father have a say if he didn't want it, right? But it's okay for the woman who doesn't want the child to sit there and say, I don't want my child. I'm going to go get an abortion. Father says, hey, I don't want that kid. I don't want to pay child support. But now it can be abused. It definitely can be
totally,
abused,
totally.
right?
And it
So
comes down to ethics, and
it
that's
does
also
come down
these
to
are like ethical,
right.
complicated ethical decisions, right?
Red Screen King USA was founded on Christian beliefs.
Yeah.
Is that right? No, it was 100% founded on Christian beliefs.
Not Christian. What was it? What's the other one that's like very similar to Christian?
Catholic? No.
Nope. Palace. Nope. What is it? It's like I can't remember. Hold on, let me see if Google knows. Protestants? Is it Protestants? I don't fucking remember.
I know. No, it's PRO Provost. Anybody, please, somebody help us out right now. No, Red Screen. I think you're 100.
Protestant. Oh yeah, Christians. Oh yeah, sorry. You're right. It's Christian, but it's a Protestant Christian,
Right.
which I don't, because I'm ignorant. I guess I don't know what's the difference between a Protestant Christian and a different type of Christian, which is like what, another, like a Catholic and a Jew or is Muslim or whatever. Aren't they all Abrahamic?
That I don't
I don't
know.
fucking know, man.
Red Screen
Religion's
says I can't get back.
Religion's a goofy conversation. We can have that one on another.
Right. Yeah, we'll definitely have that
another day to stir the pot and piss off half the world or all of it.
That's okay. Red Screen, I can't get back in. LOL. I'm not sure what you're talking about. You can't get back in. But yeah, if anybody ever wants to join in this conversation, feel free to, by the way. Our phone lines are open up. As far as I know, they're working. I don't know. We haven't tested it out yet. 207-209-1888. Feel free to call in, or we are live on the Wisdom app as well. Feel free to hit there. I mean, we talked about a lot of important issues. We kind of do get thrown off. Like I said, we have ADD and ADHD when we do these podcasts. Like we're driving down the road, and then all of a sudden we take a hard left, and then we're like, oh, squirrel, and we go right. And it's just the way it works at our podcast.
I'm gonna take a lot of that blame. Sorry.
But in all reality, midterms are very important. No matter where you stand on a political fence, you got to get out and vote. You got to get out and vote. In my opinion, if you love our country, you're gonna go Republican this year. You got to. I mean, you've got to bring the red wave. You've got to balance it out. If any party, there was actually one thing I was just watching today. If you look at it, no matter what side you look at, if one party controls the whole side, you're kind of screwed. You need that level balance. You need that 50-50 balance to have a good run government. If one party over the other controls the whole side, then yeah, you're in trouble. But do we need a red wave right now to fix what we're having? Damn straight we do. Would I love to see more independents in office? Hell yeah, I would. I feel as if our government's fucked. And I say that respectfully only because all you ever see who get into office, you barely ever see an independent. It's always a Republican or a Democrat. You barely see independents make it.
Two-party system.
Exactly. When's the last time you've seen an independent become president? Anybody? I don't think there was a single president who was an independent. Because like you said, who's got the money? You got the money, follow the money trail, and there you go. And are you looking it up right now to see if there was? No, I'd hope you do, because I don't want to be wrong. Like I said, this is entertainment purposes only, but please do your own research. But did we ever have an independent president?
So according to this thoughtco.com, no affiliation, no nothing, don't know anything about them. 5 independent presidents.
Really? Who were they?
Ross Perot?
Ross Perot was never president. He
That's
tried
what I'm
running.
saying. I was just like, wait a
That's
minute,
with
what the
the
fuck
big
is
ass
this?
ears, dude. I remember him. Those big ass ears.
Yeah. So fuck that website. Fuck you. You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh man, hold on. Hey Siri, did we ever have a president that was an independent?
Okay, I found this on the web for did we ever have a president that was an independent? Check it out.
Millard Fillmore.
Fillmore?
Millard Fillmore, a member of the Whig Party, was the 13th president of the United States, 1850 to 1853. Last president to be affiliated with, he was and the last president not to be affiliated with either the Democratic or Republican parties. All right, so I am held wrong when I said there's been no president at all. So there has been a president, President Millard Fillmore. Yeah, let's try getting off the midterms because we have been going live now for an hour and 9 minutes, and there's something else I want to get to talking about.
Handle it.
Elon Musk, baby. Hell yeah. Talk about being the most hated man by the left from the left right now. The most hated man from the left. Because they're the only ones whining about this. Elon Musk is a smart man, kind of as if Donald Trump was with his money, right? Elon Musk is smart. He knows what he's doing. He's invested in Twitter, and now he's going to go ahead. Oh, interesting. Red Screen is telling me Twitch wouldn't allow him back into the live. Hopefully you're back in now, Red Screen. Hopefully you're back in now. But Elon Musk, let's go there real quick. Most hated man by the left people right now. Left's going off like crazy on him. Why? Because he wants to make a platform, freedom of speech again. He doesn't want to be controlled by the government, having the government tell him this is what you can only allow on your platform. If anything else comes out, we're going to automatically label as misinformation and ban everybody who does it. Because that's what's going on Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg's already like come out and said, yeah, the FBI's approached me and told me that the Russian collusion, anything about the Russian collusion needs to be automatically flagged as misinformation. Elon Musk is tired of seeing it. He feels as if everybody needs a voice, should have a voice. And I 100% agree with him. If there's no violence, they don't talk about threatening anybody and violence, anything like that. Why not have your voice? They silenced. Here we go, you guys. Ready? We may crash after this one on our social media platforms. Hunter Biden's laptop. How long was that silenced for? It's just recently started being exposed again. Welcome back, Red Screen. Hunter Biden's laptops recently starting to come back out again and now is not being censored. But during a time of elections, when quote unquote, I still think this was a rigged election. I will say it 100%. And you can call me Ultra MAGA if you want. I'm definitely not, because I don't think Trump should announce presidency. I think we need another Republican. I would love to see the, little guy from Florida come in and play, but I'm not sure if he will, DeSantis. But, during the election process, they silenced us for Hunter Biden's laptop. If people knew about Hunter Biden's laptop during elections, do you think Joe Biden would be where he's at right now?
Not even close.
Okay. The FBI has had Facebook suspended. They had Jack Morrissey fucking silence anything about Hunter Biden's laptop. Oh, it's Russian collusion. The Russians did it. And it was silenced. And now all of a sudden, now it's coming out exposed again. The big guy's coming out. The big guy gets a third or whatever. It's now starting to come out more again. Certain other media outlets, because I think some of the media is now starting to turn on Biden. Not in a big way, but they're starting to. But Elon Musk saw a need that silencing people is number one, showing control. Number two, people need freedom of speech because we're America, baby. We need freedom of speech. We need a place to not worry about us being silenced because of it. And if it's deemed to be quote unquote conspiracy theorists, do your research, people. Don't believe everything you friggin' hear. Don't believe everything you hear from me. Don't believe everything you hear from Channel 6, CBS, ABC, CNN, Fox News, Newsmax. Don't believe anything you hear from them neither. Do your own freaking research. Come up to your own conclusion, whether or not if it's legit. And that's the problem. No one does their research anymore. Used
No,
to.
it's easier just to read headlines.
It is. It's easy to read headlines or just sit there and go, let me browse TikTok for my news. Yeah, I just learned an interesting fact. You know, the newest generation, 45% of the people in the new generation use TikTok as their source of news.
Well, to be fair, you're fuck CNN, fuck Fox. They're all kind of garbage. And
They
I
are.
feel like people like, Crystal and Sagar and the Tim Pool people, the We Are Change people, like those independent reporters, and Andy Yang or whatever his name is that got jumped in San Diego or up here in Portland. Like,
Right.
those independent reporters are making a much bigger impact on social media, guerrilla style, than the only people watching CNN are people who are boomers, dude. Our
Right.
dad is watching CNN
My mother.
religiously, but they're on their way out,
Right.
like once they're gone, CNN is not going to exist anymore.
No, it's the ratings are diving right out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But back to what we're talking about Elon Musk, though, he started this big stir. He's already banned some accounts.
I fucking love it. Twitter. I went on Twitter
Kathy
today.
Griffin. What's that?
Yeah. Fuck that
Kathy
bitch.
Griffin. Yeah, fuck her. Yeah, could you imagine if someone today, because I don't think they have yet, if someone today had a hanging head of freaking Biden showing it all bloody, holding up,
Yeah. What would
you,
happen?
you would be hearing a
What would
knock on their door saying FBI open up, the door be kicked in, the FBI were raiding their place. Hell, FBI is raiding places right now. People who are standing up against abortion, people who are protesting out of Planned Parenthood, their house are being arrested by the FBI, calling them extremists. This is bullshit. That is their right to be out there protesting. If they are not burning down buildings, they are not shooting people, kicking people in the street, they are not trying to trap police officers inside buildings, they're not trashing. They have every right to stand outside of that building and holding a sign saying freaking abortion kills, blah, blah, blah. They have every right to do that. They should not be being suppressed by our government. And unfortunately, this president, I just got heated, everybody. I'm sorry. This president is doing that. He is calling anybody who does that. He's calling anybody who speaks up against any of the left agenda. Guess what? You're an ultra MAGA supremacist, and you could have the FBI coming to knock on your door. Hell, I could have him come knocking on my door after this podcast if I freaking get my views up. But I'm just, in all reality, anybody who speaks against the left or thinks differently than the left, you are ultra MAGA. You are. As much as you don't, that's what they look at you as. You are an enemy to the left because you do not agree with their opinions. You do not agree with what they quote unquote stand for, which is
their truth.
It's their truth. But if you don't agree with it, you're done with it.
So then fact checked because it's against my opinion.
You spoke out against the vaccines. You did not want to get the jab. Here we go, folks. This is where the bans are going to happen. You did not agree with the vaccines. You did not get it. You're ultra MAGA. But guess what's starting to come out now? Guess what's coming out? There are now more and more reports of people dropping dead from getting the jab. There's more reports of people who have
no. It's not from the jab. It's not from the jab. It's just a bunch of really seemingly healthy people that have myocarditis out of nowhere, coincidentally,
out of nowhere,
and blood clots and other weird illnesses. It has nothing to do with the jab. It's just a coincidence.
It's a coincidence, right?
Yes, but an oddly timed coincidence.
Boosters after boosters, children's. Let's talk about another big issue right now happening in the country. RSV. RSV, a respiratory disease right now happening in children across the globe, across the U.S.
But doesn't that always go around? That's normal, right?
It's worse than it ever has been. It's one of the worst. I've never gotten an email from a doctor before in regards to like this major thing happening right now. I've gotten 2 emails, obviously, because it's got 2 kids in school, regards to RSV, that there's a huge outbreak and what to look out for. And let me tell you what, it sounds like the average cold. It sounds like COVID. It sounds like the fucking flu. I mean, I don't understand it. I really, COVID's here and learn to live with it. yes, I feel bad for those who die with it, but I feel bad for those who die with the flu. I feel bad for those who die in a car accident. We are never promised a single fucking day. We're never promised a single freaking second. So no matter what, you need to live your freaking lives the way as if today was your last freaking day. Stop fearing over this bullshit that the left is freaking feeding you. Stop fearing over the bullshit that Biden is feeding you. Stop feeding over the bullshit for every little thing that comes out of Kamala Harris's mouth whenever it does, because she doesn't speak. God damn it. She's so All right. Yeah, I need to
Did I,
calm
did I tell you
down.
about did I tell you about the commercial that I heard for COVID
No, tell me.
lately? So it was pretty fucking hilarious. So they were like, they started out the commercial like, data shows that uh comorbidities
Yes.
comorbidities for COVID-19 are what make it like really bad. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Like, I'm listening, like you're speaking my language, like I agree with you. And they're like, so what they have found is people who were like severely overweight, like obese people, people with diabetes, people with like um uh, just like I don't know, like asthma, or like people with like a lot of hypertension, blood pressure problems, and like all of these other ailments that are essentially lifestyle diseases, right?
Right.
So they're like, so if you're one of these people, the best thing that you can do to protect yourself against COVID-19 is get vaccinated. And I'm like, God, fuck, you were so close. You were so fucking close. Like, how about the best thing you could do is 45 minutes, 3 to 5 times a week of running, push-ups, squats, and crunches. 4 times a week. If you're diabetic, if you're obese, if you got hypertension, you should probably move around and go lift some fucking weights and eat some clean food. Probably,
Kathleen,
generally
body
speaking,
shape situation right
as
now.
an idiot who doesn't know anything but never really gets sick.
Here's
Don't be a
funny-
fucking idiot. Like,
how's your taste buds doing?
fine, dude. Like, shit tastes normal again.
Do they?
Smells are like normal again. Like, it was weird for like 6 months, man. What are we like? We're 11 months in. So yeah, like
11 months. 'Cause
almost a
you're
year.
January.
Middle of next month will be a year, but it was like probably 6 months of weird smells and flavors.
So glad I didn't have that.
But you know what? It's like I don't know.
Well,
I wasn't
funny. 2020 was it 2021? I had a TikTok. I looked for the comics. I remember it. I remember it quite well. I made a post talking about the vaccine, the forcing of the vaccine. I said, I'll never fucking get it. You're not going to force me to get it. I don't care. I'm not going to let my children take my older ones. You know what? Like I said, like I told my wife, I told my family, like, what are you going to do if your kids want? Number one, you know what? The adult ones, they're adults. I can't make their decision for them. They're adults. They got to learn their own, live their life. My daughter got it. I didn't agree with it. She got it. It is what it is. She ain't got the boosters. She literally got it because she wanted to go to a fucking concert. And that's some of the most fucked up shit ever. And for the force people to get it because, oh, if you want to live a lifestyle, you want to go enjoy yourself, you got to get jabbed.
super
It's
fucking manipulative.
It is. And it just shows controlship, right? It's a way to control people. We won't get into that topic right now, but where I was going at this is they're adults. I've said I won't have my kids, but that post said, let me know next year when you're dead. And I wanted to find it to sit there and say, guess what, motherfucker? I'm still alive and well. I got hit with Rona. Hell, somewhere in one of these podcasts, you guys scroll through it on Facebook, you're going to find it. I look like shit. I came on, we did a podcast for like a half hour. I was barely with it.
Yeah, you were rough on that. I do remember that. You were all pale and shit.
Oh, dude, I got wrecked. But it was like a flu. I literally just felt like crap. My head was spinning. I had a headache. I didn't lose my taste. I didn't lose my smell. I think I did for like an hour here and there periodically, but I didn't lose it like permanent or nothing, like not like you. but I was wrecked, but I'm here. All I did was take my vitamins. And I didn't take what quote unquote the liberals call horse medicine, even though ivermectin's an actual human medicine as well. Oh shit! I just said another keyword.
Oh,
Why not touch it all? When will the show be over? Yeah, Red Screen. I hear you, man. We do got to tie it up. We've been going, folks. The moral of the story: I'm bringing more people in possible. Oh, you're bringing in more people? What do you want me to keep going? I will.
I don't know. I mean,
We've been going for like an hour and 23 minutes, man. I've got 43 people on Wisdom right now. I haven't had any phone calls. I've been waiting for
yeah. By the way, Wisdom folks, chime in, please. You're probably much more intelligent than we are.
We're
So,
just over here talking away, having a blast. Anybody else wants to chime in? What are your thoughts about Elon Musk takeover on Twitter? Let us know his purchase on Twitter, how he's handling it. Do you think he's handling it properly? I'm following you on Wisdom now, Mark. I found awesome, Madison. Glad you found us on Wisdom. Thank you for tuning in on Wisdom. Seriously, I would love to know people's opinion. Keep going, man. All right, Red Screen, we'll keep going. Damn. All right, let's talk about it though. Elon Musk over here bought Twitter, driving a stir, driving the left crazy, especially what's it, Cortez? That Cortez chick there who's always crying and bullshitting. Where or what is Wisdom? Redskin Wisdom is an app on you can find on the on your phone in the App Store, either on Google, Apple. I got it on my iPad. That's how I'm broadcasting live on it now. It's an app right on your phone. It's a pretty cool little app. You can listen to other people's podcasts on there, so forth. A lot of people just go live on there to talk. Some great conversations. I listened to some on there before. It's just a great app, and we're live on there. We've currently got 43 people tuning in on Wisdom right now. But back to what I was talking about, Elon Musk is stirring up the stir, and I love the way he's handling it. He's not bashing on anybody. I love the idea of $8 verification, having your, get your little blue check for $8 a month. I'm hoping that's going to apply to people like us as well, podcasters, social media content creators. I would love to see that option because, people like us who should be somewhat verified. I'm doing videos on YouTube. I'm here making content, but I'm not really verified. So anybody can be out there and say, hey, I'm the Mark G Show, and try to clone me. I love the idea that you cannot clone somebody's name without having quote unquote now parody. That's why, what is it? Who was it just got banned that he banned? Kathy Griffin, because she changed her name to Elon Musk. So he freaking gave her the good old name.
I don't know what her name is.
I believe
but she's really annoying. That woman really bothers me.
She's absolutely annoying.
She really, really bothers me.
And she should have been granted, they called it at that time freedom of speech. Remember when she hung the head of Trump up on the side of her, the bloody face of Trump, they called it freedom of speech. She was okay with it.
Right.
Once again, I go back to my question. If anybody did that right now to Biden, what would happen?
Or even if they just did that with her head.
With her head, they would automatically have the law enforcement knocking on the door, questioning them, maybe possibly getting criminal threatening of charges against them because they're holding it up, saying, oh, that's threatening, offended them. Because another problem we have in a country, folks, I'm sorry for this, for my language, but listen, we're living in a pussyfied generation right now, pussyfied situation where everybody's offended about everything. There's too many Karens and too many Kens out there right now that are crying over every little bit.
Everyone's super weak.
They are
super weak.
And, and I'm going to say it bluntly, listen, like I said before, I'm a Republican, but I think there's a lot of people on the Republican side that are weak too, that are getting offended too much. And it's mostly the younger kids, unfortunately, the people that are younger than our generation, because the people who are within their mid-30s, I would say 32 and up, maybe 30 and up. I'm going to go 30 and up. Anybody under 30, you're living in a different time than what we had. We're living in a time when we drank out of garden hoses when we got thirsty. We weren't just sitting there worried about filtered water back then. We were living in a time, times when we ran outside to ride dirt bikes and jumping off ramps and seeing how far we could go before we wiped down, broke a leg, and go make our parents pay an outload ass of freaking medical bills because we fucked up.
Or driving through the barn door because I didn't know how to start.
Driving through the barn door, or I think you could be a pro skater and jump off a set of stairs and break your freaking arm in two places. That was me on a banana skateboard. Or going back, borrowing a friend's car without a license just because you want to go joyride. They're in school, you skip school and borrow their car, and you're driving down a bunch of back roads hoping you don't get pulled over. Back in time when life was good, because you were young, you were out playing. We didn't have this. This is poison. I really hate to say it. And I'm a social media content creator. I am live at least
Often.
6% often on TikTok. I am. I'm live here once a week for you folks on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or as much as I can possibly be once a week on here. I'm a content creator, and I'm going to tell you that phones, electronic devices, iPads, computers, video games, this is the biggest problem that we have right now. This is why a lot of people are not awakened to what's going on around them, because they're too drowned into their electronics to see what's really going on around them. They're too drowned into electronics to realize the cost of food. Hell, they come home from work, and what do? Especially the younger kids, they're not cooking their foods. They're doing DoorDash. And don't tell me they're fucking not, because I've got a 19-year-old who lives in my house, and I see his ass. I'll cook a nice freaking healthy dinner. Dinner's done. Oh, I've got DoorDash on. What? You got what?
So expensive.
Why? You're going to go sit there and spend $15 to $20 on a DoorDash Wendy's that probably would have cost you $5 or $6 if you bought it yourself.
Drove it down there
right?
yourself. Yep.
Or you could have came downstairs and ate dinner that your parents, because you're still living underneath that roof, made for absolutely free, because we love you and we want to feed you for free. This is the problem that we have right now. My 22-year-old, I love my sons. I love all my kids. I love my daughter. My 22-year-old who freaking works his ass off, don't get me wrong, should do what he wants with his money, but instead of cooking fresh, hot cooked meal at home, he orders DoorDash. Like, why? This is what's wrong. And then they play video games. Their faces are in their screens. Folks, I love it when your face is in your screens, because sometimes I make money on it, and that's great. But at the same time, I wish we would all get outside, enjoy the fresh air, enjoy it. There was a time when people our age, we didn't have these electronics when we were kids. We had to go outside. Our parents would tell us, don't get your ass home until the freaking street lights come on. If you're home before then, you're going to be doing chores.
Yep.
Oh, you're home, the street lights ain't on. Guess what? You're cleaning your room. Oh, you're home before the street lights are off. Guess what? You're mowing the lawn. Our father used to pay us to get us out of the damn house. When we lived in Cali, our father would be like, oh, guess what, children? I ain't cooking today. I'm going to the bar and drinking. But you know what? Here's $5 or $10 a piece. You guys go to 7-Eleven, pick yourselves up some friggin' hot dogs and nachos and call it a day. That's your dinner tonight.
And we did.
Sometimes. Other times we give a security guard some money. He'd go buy us a 40 and a blunt. We call it good. I mean,
Those were different. Those were different. Those were the other days.
those are the days, when you're a teenager, you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna do teenager things. And nowadays, too, unfortunately, here's another problem with our society: is the drugs are nowhere near what they used to be when we were kids.
They're way better. Oh, I mean, no.
Really, Gary? Really?
I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Dear God. This is how you tell a podcast. They're way better.
Oh man.
No, but seriously though, back in the day, what did we worry about when we were kids? As far as when we did drugs, it was experimental, right? Sometimes, I was a little pothead, and then I realized that I was too addicted for a while, and I got myself out because I had to straighten myself out. I quit once my oldest son was born. I do dabble with pot here and there sometimes. Once in a while, I do smoke, but not very often. You dabble when you're a kid is what I'm trying to say. Unfortunately, I don't even think these teenagers really do, and if they do, they're doing the stuff that they're chasing to get a bigger high, because unfortunately in our country right now, we have a problem. Doctors prescribing pills left and right. Kids are abusing Adderall. They're abusing all this other stuff. So what do? They chase a different high. And that's when we're going back to the people crossing the border. So instead of chasing this high, they're trying the stuff that they think would be heroin and that's fentanyl, and it's killing our kids.
Literally.
It's literally killing our kids. And it's literally killing other people's, it's killing our nation. We have a problem at our borders, and it is with the fentanyl. It's here in the United States. It's killing our kids. And folks, everything I'm saying is going to come right back down to what's the problem with this administration. I mean, It's
Well,
not.
yeah.
No, go for it. I'm
No,
sorry.
go
I need
ahead,
a
go
drink.
ahead.
I need a drink anyways. No, go for it.
I was going to say I think it goes beyond even the administration. This is a broken home, family is in shambles problem. Like all of these, I was thinking about this earlier today. It's like all of these problems that we're having are with people who are dealing with shit, right? Like people are dealing with stress because of these devices, because of whatever work, because of their spouse, because of shitty cops, good cops, whatever it is. But it's a broken home too. The one or I don't even know, man. Like
I'm about ready. Go for it.
yeah, it's the nuclear, like what is it? The nuclear family is
Nuclear family. Yeah.
yeah, like that's been broken in America, and it's like one of the things that I love about different cultures when you see family that's tight. Like you'll see some shitty things going on in all sorts of cultures, but one thing that I notice is their families are usually really tight. Like they you could tell that they care about their family, and like they have their parents together working really hard to like raise their children, and that's honorable. And I think there's a lot of that missing in America.
You know, we're also missing in America. You just brought it up point blank when you're talking about depression. Is we do have a big problem with mental health issues in America, and unfortunately, we're not addressing that at all. Our government's not addressing it. They're acting like mental health is not an issue when it truly is, and mental health on an issue on so many things. Number one, first and foremost, I'm always going to bring this up, is 22 veterans commit suicide daily, and one is too many. 22 is way too many, and actually, the number of 22 is even further up than that now. I think it's like 25 or 26 veterans commit suicide daily, because the mental health system's broken, because our VA system's broken. This is a problem when your government sends more money to Ukraine to help out for their freaking issues versus trying to help out Americans on American soil. Like we should be funding money into America to help Americans, not funneling money to help out a third world shithole. Sorry, folks.
Hey, whoa, no, listen. Hey, look, we don't even have to go down that road. Like,
no, but like
it's just the fact of the matter is it's not our war, right? It's not our problem. There appear to be some pretty interesting connections between the Biden clan and some officials in the Ukraine world, allegedly, whatever. There seems to be some
conspiracy theorist child.
I don't know. There's some weird behavior going on there where they're getting 40 plus billion US dollars with no real recourse, like really, really quick. Like we could have solved a lot of problems here at home, and that money went abroad. Like, and that was both sides, mind you. Right?
Yeah, no, both sides that voted to bring it.
Both sides were like, yeah, let's go ahead and fucking give it all to Ukraine. So that red wave, blue wave, I'm not sure.
But what was going on is mental health issues. If you kind of slow me down so I didn't go.
Sorry.
No. It's
mental
fine.
health. Yeah.
I said something that kind of clicked you, and you kind
People
of
are crazy. They're crazy.
Yeah. You set me off a little bit. So let's talk about that real quick too, because I was on TikTok obviously today. I was watching a gentleman. I'm going to leave his name out of it, but there's a big content creator that was on there, and I'm proudly say Big Keen, who's also a podcaster, does it. Absolutely a dick to this person. This person shows signs of depression. You can see that they're upset. They're having issues. They try to come out on TikTok to vent. And some people do, because TikTok or social media platforms is away from the outcry, so they can talk to. There's a certain family, a certain community you gather when you do this stuff. Like I have a community on my TikTok, right? I got people that I conversate with that's like my online family when I'm live on there, right? So they make me feel good. I make them feel good in conversation. Well, this guy comes on here to have that conversation with people. This guy, Keen, comes on there and starts bashing him over money. Let me remind you, if you spend your money, it's your money. But this person's already showing signs of depression. So he comes on and starts bashing him. Oh, well, you didn't gift me. on TikTok. You were gifting the opposing times and sending them money. Why didn't you? Whatever. I don't care about that. My mind is still talking about depression. But then he started bashing because this guy was going through marital issues. He was telling people certain right now he's going through marital issues. His wife's having him sleep down in the basement and so forth like that. So, and he just started bashing him, talking shit about his wife and talking shit about him. We also have another issue of online bullying. We have an issue of internet bullying and people bullying. Yes, some bullying needs to happen, Gary. I know you're big on bullying, but at the same time, when your person's already down, you don't keep beating them down. You don't.
You make me sound like such an asshole.
No. I know where you stand on bullying. And don't get me wrong. I agree that some bullying to an extent does need to happen. There's a certain point that the bullying that we're seeing now is way worse than it ever was when you and I were a kid.
Yeah. There's more than like spitting the little spit wads through straws.
Oh, dude, that was so
somebody at lunchtime.
I got hit with the spitballs on my head.
Yeah.
So bullying, certain harassing, like when you're with your buddies, you guys razz each other all the time.
And now people are doing when they're like cops are getting called on people and like people get killed. Like that's fucked up. Like
they do swatting.
Swatting? Yeah, that's when that's the over the top. That's when people need to calm down a little bit,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And also when someone's already showing down and a low, maybe you should be finding out what's wrong, man. What can we do? What can we talk? Maybe we should get off this platform, maybe talk one-on-one.
Right.
Let me send you a private message with my number. Let's talk.
Right.
What's really going on? And people forgot about that one-on-one. And it's
hard to be human when you're online all the time,
It is, but at the same time, people try to think, oh, well, I'm already showing like I'm this big, like dick type of person. I just need to keep up with that personality. Why don't you try being a human once in a while? Try figuring out what somebody's issues is.
Right.
Everybody, I don't care who you are, you suffer from depression. There's some form of depression that everybody falls through. Some people just have hit with it harder to the point where they take their lives and they shouldn't. That's from the 22 and also for people who are not veterans.
Yeah, right.
You go through a certain set of point of depression where you may feel like you need to take your life. We need more help for people like that. I don't think there's an institution here in Maine anymore other than the hospital that helps people with that anymore. There used to be a place.
Really?
Yeah, there used to be a place called I can't remember. I think it started with a brook or whatever. But if you went to a hospital and you said you're depressed and you thought about killing yourself or killing somebody, you got what they call blue papered, where the hospital would admit you, and then they send you off to an institution for a 7-day stay to evaluate you, get you medicated, whatever, and to get you on your way. And we don't have that here in Maine anymore. You're looking all right. You got to get going, brother.
No, I thought I thought I saw a shadow out of my.
Oh, maybe it's a loved one saying hi to you.
Yeah. I've moved quite far, so they're stalking the shit out of me.
Well, no, maybe it's a loved one that's passed keeping an eye on you.
They're still following me.
It's funny. We did have a TikTok conversation, a little bit off topic, folks. I did a show talking about that, another conspiracy theory. All right, you know what? Anybody interested in doing a show with us regards to conspiracy theories? I would love to do one coming up in the next week or two. If anybody would love to join in on a conspiracy theory podcast with us, please email me on air at themarkgshow.com. That's on air at themarkgshow.com. Or feel free to call me on the podcast studio number 207-209-1888. I would love to set up and do a conspiracy theory. I'm not even going to talk about what I was about ready to talk about. Conspiracy theory conversation. In all reality, man, we have been going for like almost 2 hours long, the longest podcast we've done in about a month or so. I really do want to leave it with a closing statement of this. Please, look at where we stand as a country right now. Figure out who you believe, honestly, that's going to be best for our country, who may be able to help us become a little bit more united versus divided as a country. Granted, division's going to be there. It's always been there. It's never has, but it's worse than we've ever seen it. It really is. So when you go to the polls tomorrow, think about that. Think about the high gas prices right now. Think about the cost of food and how the inflation keeps going. Think about people who are going to be cold this winter when you go to the polls, and vote with your head. this year. Don't vote for what you've just been watching on the media or hell, even what you've been listening on my show. Please take into consideration, do your own research. But get out there and vote. Every vote does truly matter, no matter what side you're on. You got anything for him, brother?
No, I think you pretty much wrapped it up. Just take care of your health, eat good, get your heart rate up, love your family and your friends, and buy ammo.
Yes, buy lots of ammo. I know I got a few thousand rounds. All right, we're gonna get out of here. On that note, everybody, take care. Y'all are awesome. I appreciate everybody tuning in. 52 people on freaking Wisdom. That is awesome. We've got 3, 4, 5 people over on the social media platforms as well. I really wish I could have gone on a few others, but I'll be waiting to see if we get suspended off any of them after tonight's show.
This was clean. This was easy.
This was pretty easy. You kind of shut me down when I started bitching about money going over to Ukraine anyway, so we should be good. Yeah. All right, y'all take care. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll catch y'all later.
You've been listening to the Snowflake Melter, the Mark G Show. Mark is your everyday hardworking business owner that loves America, and he certainly doesn't mind telling it like it is. We hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review. To send an email, it's on air at themarkgshow.com. And find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at The Mark G Show. See you next time.
Well, I hit it again. Hold on. Let me kill off the other ones. Bye. Social media. I had to.